Hey guys, it's ESPN001 here, walking the road to my 339th Platinum Trophy. Today's game is Inksplosion. This is the European PS4 version of the game. Inksplosion, it is a I can't remember if that's how they pronounce their name. It's a company that's made a lot of easy games like the 36 Fragments games and stuff like that. This is a fairly easy to medium platinum trophy. It depends on a couple things, though. It depends kind of heavily. I mean, you have to have some skill with twin stick shooters or you will not get that far. I'm not that bad at twin stick shooters. I've platinum games like LA Cops isn't really that impressive, but I mean, I've done Dead Nation twice, so I think I'm not bad at this kind of game, but this game is just really obnoxious. It's kind of broken at times. Like, all the ink in the background is horrible to look at, and it makes it really, really hard to see where the bullets are coming from and which ones are yours. And above that, the game has a lot of luck to it as to whether or not it gives you the right weapons, as to whether or not it gives you fair layouts, stuff like that, and to where the enemies spawn at. It is a very simple game, though, and it can be done in well under an hour. Like, I think it took me... Yeah, it took me over an hour because I struggled a lot with it first. Classic mode, kill your first enemy and die for the first time are guaranteed. But you have to reach level 10 and score 100,000 points in Classic mode. Classic mode is really not that hard. Like, I struggled with it a lot at first, but then it was because I didn't really understand how the game worked at first. So that was really my own fault for struggling with that. Classic mode isn't too hard once you sort of get used to how the game works. I would say arena mode is worse because you have to kill 100 enemies, and that's basically surviving 25 waves, and your weapon changes after every wave. If you could just use the shotgun or the beam gun on every wave, it wouldn't be that hard. But having your weapon constantly switch and the enemies spawn in different places every time is what makes this a lot harder than it should be. And then, above all, the game's just kind of buggy between all the stuff in the background and the fact that probably 50% of the time, so half my deaths, I didn't even get hit by anything, and it would just hit me. Like, the hitbox on my guy seemed like it was way too big. So yeah, I was not a fan of this game. This is probably my least favorite of the Radicalia games that I've played, and that includes, like, Square Boy and the Midnight Deluxe, 36 Fragments at Midnight, and I think a few other ones. They do have Super Destronaut DX, though, and I am actually looking forward to that because it looks like a Galaga-esque game, so that actually looks like a lot of fun. And then you get your last trophy for killing one enemy in hard mode, which is super easy. So overall, it's not too hard of a platinum, and it can be done in under an hour once you sort of get used to the game, but it does have a lot of luck and bugginess to it, and it was not a fun experience. I did not enjoy this one at all. I don't know yet if I'm going to do any of the other versions of it, just because I was not a fan of this one. And I'm also not sure if I'd ever want to do any of the Vita versions of it, because I've heard the Vita versions are terrible, but I've also heard that you can shut the ink off on the Vita versions, which might make them easier. So, with that, level 61, 16%, 15,103 total trophies, 339 platinums, 1,866 golds, 3,814 silvers, 9,084 bronzes. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and see you for the next one.